Live reaction done. Missouri comes back to beat Minnesota. This game was absolutely insane. I know there's probably a lot of people out there who just don't care about this, but I'm just going to say it from my perspective. I was heavily invested in Missouri to win this game. It was one of my 3 daily picks. I said it was a 2-unit play. I looked destined for a doomed bad night after a bunch of other teams let me down in tragic fashion. Missouri was getting smoked. They were down 6 points at halftime. They gave up an 8-0 run to start the second half that included a technical. Caleb Grill was thrown out of the game after a flop call that should have been a 3-point foul. And Dennis Gates was literally rubbing his cheeks on the sideline. This was one of the wildest meltdown games I've ever seen. And then it turned into a Minnesota meltdown where everybody else just went in their shell. And Carter, I'm sorry, but they were playing through Cam Christie down the stretch of this game. And there was a graphic that popped up in the middle of the game that said 18 points and 4 assists. I thought that's what Cam Christie had tonight live in the game. So I was starting to talk about it on the show. You were like, dog, he has 2 points and hasn't scored from the floor. He had 18 and 4 last game against UTSA. Cam Christie tonight finished with 2 points, 3 rebounds, 50% from the free throw line, and ultimately missing the potential game tying or winning shot. So, Carter, how are you feeling about this? You've said Minnesota is the worst team in Big Ten history. They looked good for 80% of the game tonight.
They did. They look good for 80% of the game tonight. And they're not the worst Big Ten team in history, but they are firmly the worst team in the Big Ten Conference this year. And to go for Diehard, who stays in my mentions, telling me about what Minnesota is, I will tell you this. I will give you your credit. This is me telling you that Minnesota is a lot better than I thought. Maybe they shouldn't be in the last tier by themselves, but they should be in the last tier. And that's where they will remain, because that's where they do. Because if you want to be at the bottom of the Big Ten, you don't play through Dawson Garcia. That's how you if you want to end up at the bottom of the Big Ten, you play through the freshman who hasn't proved that he can be in that spot yet. But I will say this, I actually enjoyed watching Minnesota tonight. And they were doing this without Pharrell Payne being 100%. I know he played some spot minutes off the bench, but I think he's still getting healthy. But I actually do like Minnesota, but at the end of the day, what did they do? They pulled a Minnesota. They blew an 18-point second half lead at home. That's what is that not Gophers history, Gopher cinema? Sorry, Kendall Shell. That's what they do.
I think we're being too harsh on this. I don't have any associations with Minnesota's a historically awful basketball program that always chokes. I don't feel that way. I feel like
I don't feel that way at all, but I'm saying as of in the Ben Johnson era and probably the past 5 years, that's who they are.
I don't know. I don't know that I would say that. I guess I still don't view this program as as downtrodden as Nebraska, who I know looks good right now, but I don't think it's fair to say they're alone in a bottom tier right now. I also don't think it's fair to attack Dawson Garcia like that, who by and large has been awesome this season.
When did I attack him?
Just said if you're playing through Dawson Garcia, this is what's going to happen.
No. I'm saying they should have been playing through him.
Oh,
they played through the freshman. That's why this happened.
I was misinterpreting that because Dawson
Garcia has been amazing this season. He's been one of the better players in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I want to put some respect on his name real quick. He had 23, 14, and 6 first game of the season.
He's really good.
22, 6, and 3 the next game. 16, 9, and 3 tonight. He's getting the line like crazy. He might be the best free throw guy in the country right now. He is 28 for 31 from the line through 3 games. Pretty crazy. Yeah, I like just looking at it broadly from Minnesota's standpoint, fun team, which is all you can ask for on paper after the way last season went. You lost Jameson Battle, you retained Dawson Garcia, you got some dudes who can shoot, and now you're a fun basketball team. Even if you lost a game like this, I know it was a pick 'em, but everybody I knew was ready to jump all over Missouri and say, I can't believe this line's a pick 'em. So I think it bodes well that Minnesota was up so well, even if they blew the game. I like their shooters. I actually genuinely think this team has some substance to it that's got staying power over the course of this season. And look, this is one that probably will hang over their head. Maybe feels like a one loss that could turn into 2 losses type thing. Don't let one mistake turn into 2. I could certainly see this being a hangover for this team for a little bit, kind of like a wake-up call of oh, we're still Minnesota. But I like the talent. I think there's talent here for them to snap out of this, especially as Pharrell Payne gets healthy. On the Missouri side of things, just quickly, a lot of people like this Missouri team. I mean, Nick Honors old and back. Carter is a very good front court player. Tanji was a big guy everybody wanted from the transfer portal. Caleb Grill is a name. He makes shots. Certainly, he's a flamethrower. I don't know what to make of Missouri as a whole.
They're fun. I kind of like them. They have a certain, and Dennis Gates has a certain style of play too, which I think is a lot of fun. You saw it last year when they are able to have guys like, they had Mosley on the team. They had guys on that team that could make an impact. And who else did they have? Who else am I forgetting? Oh, they had Kobe Brown, who was a first round draft pick too, I believe. So they always play like a fun style of basketball. They play their style, and I think he did a good job of getting players in the portal to do that. Like they got Tamar Bates from Indiana, who's able to do what he does best, basically be a nuisance and use his length to be disruptive. So I could see the allure with this Missouri team. They're fun. They play hard. East is one of the most efficient guards in the country right now, I believe it was. I actually got to pull up his numbers, but I mean, I think he's shooting crazy from the field. It's literally like he does not miss, and he fills up the stat sheet. So, and he also wears 55, which I love. So, I don't know. I like this Missouri team. I can see the allure with them. I see why Jim Root is a proud alumni of the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, I like when Jim Root is happy. So, cheers, Jim, to you, my friend, tonight.